Welcome to the SVG-TV news for Friday, June 19th. I'm Khalil Kato with the details. SVG now has 26 recovered COVID-19 cases. This follows the receipt of the second negative PCR result for one person from the Public Health Laboratory at Carfa. A release from the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, said these results were included in a batch of, that should be a batch for 25 samples, sent to the lab on Wednesday, June 17th. It was also noted that four Disney crew members who disembarked on June 15th tested negative for COVID-19. With no new positive cases reported, there are now 3 active cases of COVID-19 in SVG out of a total of 29 recorded cases. NEMO said the entire group of 75 Vincentian crew members on board the Norwegian cruise line vessel Oceania Marina, which docked at Port Kingstown yesterday, tested negative for COVID-19. Swabs for these PCR tests were collected on June 16th, processed at the Best Dos Santos Public Health Laboratory in Barbados, and reported on yesterday. All of these nationals are expected to complete a 14-day mandatory quarantine in their homes or a government-approved facility. The public is again urged to maintain strict hand hygiene, cough etiquette, physical distancing in public spaces, smart mask use, and strict adherence to quarantine and isolation instructions to ensure that we continue to slow the spread of COVID-19 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Within the last 3 months since the COVID-19 outbreak, over 1,000 Vincentian nationals have returned home. This figure was revealed by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves on Wednesday, who noted that the majority are seafarers.
Between then and now, we have brought in to the country over 1,000 of our nationals overseas, mainly seafarers, students, people who are working overseas and who got a chance, like those in BVI, to come down, some who came a little before the planes stopped coming, like the 25th and 28th of March, those who came out of Miami, New York and Miami by the American airline flight out of Miami. And if you were to take, as I make this pointer again, it's over 1,000, but if you were to take the number to 1,000, and you say that for Jamaica, that will be the equivalent of 30,000 persons coming in from Jamaica.
An additional 75 seafarers returned home yesterday, and more are expected in the coming days. PM Gonsalves said SVG has managed to contain the coronavirus even though there was no lockdown of the country.
The region has done pretty well, and certainly our part of the world. And we have done quite well, where we didn't lock down, we didn't curfew, we didn't state of emergency anybody. We have had two more cases. But we don't need to worry about that, because the 2 cases are cases which come in from the cruise ships on Monday. And they came in on Monday, and they're isolated. The persons are not sick, and we expect that they have it mild, they will recover. So we continue to manage the situation quite well.
SVG recorded its first case of COVID-19 on March 11th. Varying concentrations of Saharan dust will continue to affect SVG and the rest of the Caribbean region over the next few days. This is according to an advisory from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, which says particles contained within the Saharan dust haze could cause the following health effects: a dry cough, sore throat, itchy, watery eyes, sneezing, and a runny nose. The ministry said high concentrations of the Saharan dust may severely affect persons with respiratory diseases such as asthma and persons with pre-existing heart disease. The elderly and children are also vulnerable at this time. Persons with respiratory issues and allergies are asked to keep with them at all times any and all medications, including asthma inhalers, in case of emergencies. Persons are also encouraged to limit their exposure to the Saharan dust by staying indoors when possible, or wearing a dust mask if they must go outdoors. The ministry said affected persons should seek medical attention at their nearest healthcare center if they experience severe symptoms as a result of the increasing levels of Saharan dust. Minister of Finance and Economic Planning Camilo Gonzalez said the COVID-19 pandemic has taught him that the economic foundations of countries across the region are very fragile and vulnerable, especially those which are mostly dependent on tourism. Speaking at the launch of the first online educational institute for youths in SVG at the Methodist Church Hall yesterday, Minister Gonzalez said that COVID-19 has shown countries that instead of putting all emphasis, economic-wise, in one basket, they should invest in new pillars for the economy of the future, such as a knowledge-based economy.
Instead of coalescing into one pot, one basket, we have to think of new bases and new pillars, resilient pillars, for the economy of the future. In a global, in an interconnected world, in a vulnerable world, we have to think about things beyond the traditional bases that have taken us to where we are today. And one of the most critical areas in which we can invest and in which we must invest is the knowledge-based economy. If you are a programmer, COVID is not going to affect you. All of Google's employees are currently working from home, but they're working. 70% of Facebook and Twitter employees are working from home, but they're working. Because the skill they have and the talent that they have is not going to be subject to the virus or to physical distancing rules.
Minister Gonzalez said that in order to build the local economy, government must first focus on equipping citizens with new skills and improving their education through science and technology.
To think more and more about equipping our citizens with resilient skills and adaptable skills in this ever-changing world. And the surest way to do that is to improve their educational level, is to improve their level of comfort with science and technology, and is to improve their ability to innovate and to think outside of the box. All of those things have Petrus gums written all over them. We view technology, internet connectivity, ICT skills as developmental accelerants in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The finance minister said that COVID-19 has shown how important technology is to the world.
You can condense the talent in one or two locations and deliver it to everybody. And you start to think about all the challenges that we have to which we can apply technology, small and large. You think about the number of people in this era of social distancing, physical distancing, who you see standing up in lines on the sidewalks now, outside of Digicel, outside of the banks, outside of couriers, outside of the post office. And you say there's a technological solution to all of that. Somebody needs an app to pay the bills. Somebody needs an app to collect their MoneyGram if they're lined up outside of Western Union or MoneyGram. Somebody needs an app by which they can interact and interface with the government to pay their taxes, to renew their driver's license, to get their birth certificate. There are technological solutions to all of these problems.
The keys for the newly constructed Camden Park Community Center were handed over today to Minister of National Mobilization Frederick Stevenson. The Camden Park Community Project commenced in January 2017 at a cost of over $3 million EC. The two-story building will serve as a community center and disaster shelter for residents of Camden Park. The building, which provides access for the disabled, is comprised of a main building that should be a main office, dining room, kitchen, and an auditorium. River defense work was also completed at the back of the center. The official opening of the center, that is expected to take place soon. In 1 week's time, hundreds of grade 6 students across the country will be sitting the Caribbean Primary Exit Examinations, the CPEA. Last year's top school, the Kingstown Preparatory School, has more than 140 students signed up for the exam this year. Today, the students completed a 2-day mock exam as the teachers wind down their revision for the 4 subject areas: mathematics, social studies, English, and science. Head of the grade 6 program at the Kingstown Prep School, Paul Jocelyn, said that while the students are taking the CPEA under challenging times, they are ready, and he is confident they will do their best.
Have been prepared, and right now they have an exam taking place, which is the science exam this afternoon, and I think they're ready. It has been challenging over the past few weeks because we have to practice social distancing, and instead of having one classroom, you have one classroom now going into 4 classrooms. So we have a total of 14 classrooms as opposed to 4 classrooms. And for one teacher to be able to deal with that, it has been a bit challenging over the past few weeks. Well, let's put it this way. They have to be prepared. And we did our part to make sure that they are well prepared for this exam.
Grade 6 teacher Suzette Holder said the delayed setting of the exams this year has taken a toll on the students and teachers for different reasons, and they are ready to get it over with.
I also think that some of the children are tired. They wish that the exam had taken place before, and keeping them motivated was difficult for us. Another thing, some of them are very disappointed. Quite a lot of them are very disappointed that they're not having a graduation. And like first they were complaining that Miss coming to school for 7 years and not having a graduation is just like a waste of time and those things. So, but in all, importantly, they have an exam to do. We have done our best to prepare them. They have done quite a lot of practice. For the teachers, it was really tiring. For us, it felt like it was an 18-week term. Just for 4 or 5 weeks, it felt like an 18-week term.
Holder said that the revised COVID-19 protocols and guidelines for the 2 days of exams have already been made known to teachers, students, and parents.
Wearing the mask, they're expected to wear masks, and on entering the classrooms, they would be given hand sanitizers. I think gloves are optional, right? They may or may not. And the other protocols, normal examination protocols are in place. And, well, we have worked hard, and we are, as usual, expecting the best.
It's not even time yet, and some parents are very anxious about the 2-day exam to be held next Thursday and Friday. Some of these parents were seen on the outside of the prep school today, patiently awaiting their children to exit the classrooms where they were taking the mock exam. Our news team spoke with some of the parents who said it is a joy to be a part of this academic journey with their child.
Do well. They will come out excellent. I have confidence in them as a parent. I am supporting my daughters. I have my niece going prep school, and I'm supporting her. And my daughter going to sit up Prescott, I'm supporting her too. I'm supporting all the parents who say with the children. I just pray that God that way they will come out excellent and make us feel proud. Because we're here every day with them, so they can see us as parents with confidence in them.
Yes, I have 2 twins that go at Kingstown Prep School, so I'm here supporting them. They're now doing a pre-CPA, so I know they do well, and every one of them in there will do well and excellent. Through God's grace and strength He give them and the knowledge, they will make it through. Not really, but I'm happy, waiting for that special moment.
Well, it's been a little hectic, but we have to put aside a special time for them and give them the health, the strength, and the knowledge that they want to guide them and show them exactly what is there. And we're very proud for our children. Here at CW Prescott, and we're here 24/7 from inception. We always say it is 8 years now since we are playing with them. So every morning I bring her up from 6:30 until, so I wait for her every day. So this is all I have. I retire now, so this is what I am giving back to my child. I love my child. I support her in everything that she do. in the exam, and I hope that all parents, all children will come out excellent.
The teachers who returned to school to help their students prepare for the regional exams in light of the COVID-19 pandemic have been commended for their work. The commendation came from Government Senator and Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Deborah Charles, who was speaking on a radio program last evening. Charles said teachers have prioritized their students' education to ensure they excel, and this is quite commendable. She also used the opportunity to wish the CPEA students the best in their exams next week.
Focus, plan your work. By now you should have had your timetables that you have been using to study. I trust our young people, and they have been doing their work. I know that there are a few delinquents, but more than 80% of our students have been working, and teachers have been working with them. I must commend the teachers, because even when school was out, teachers had been doing their online work with these children, and the teachers must be commended for the work they have been doing.
And Charles is appealing to students to bring in their school-based assessments for CSEC in order to have them graded. She said that some teachers have indicated that there are some delinquent students who have not yet submitted their SBAs, which could jeopardize their grades, as there are deadlines to be met.
To my understanding, that a few students in some schools have not yet brought in all of their SBAs. I'm not quite sure when is the deadline for the SBAs, but if the exams are only a few weeks away, then the SBA should be in. So those guilty students tonight, Teacher Debbie is begging you to bring your SBAs, take your SBAs to your schools so that they can be graded and you can have your mark to go into your exam when your exam begins in a few weeks.
CSEC will be written next month along with other Caribbean examinations, which will require SBAs to be completed.
I didn't mention the third formers who are writing, because I know that some third formers are also writing CCSLC as well. Devices, or some of those devices, would be given to our children. On Tuesday of next week, we're expecting to have 2,000 more devices on island, and so we begin the distribution to our our grade sixers, and then to those who do not at this moment possess a device.